Okay. Right. Thank you everyone for being here. It's a healing session based on the feminine, the divine feminine, where we're at within our femininity and what that is raising for us at any given moment. Quite bizarrely, not bizarrely, I think it makes absolute sense. But I just got my period today after 5 months of not having one, due to various different things. So like having a coil fitted and my period's going all out of whack. And then I had the coil removed and it's been ages. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, thinking, when is my period coming back? Because I've kind of missed it, you know, the regularity and the kind of connection with my femininity. And then here it is, come today, which I don't think could be more perfect actually, to do this healing work, which I think we hold so much within our bodies and our emotions. So we're going to be moving through all different aspects of ourselves as we do this meditation and this healing tonight. So as I said, you don't need to do anything. Shortly, I'll ask you to turn your screens off and to just relax into the meditation. I will be using cards to kind of guide us through that, see what arises and allow it to be organic. So you might hear me shuffling and moving the cards about, but otherwise just be relaxed, be at peace. If your mind comes back to the room and you find yourself distracted, that's fine. I did a really powerful like healing meditation recently. It was for an hour and a half, and during that time there were periods within that I kept coming back round, and even opening my eyes and having a look around and then going straight back in. So it's fine, whatever works for you. If you zonk out for the whole hour, perfect. I guess just don't beat yourself up. However you process it, you process it. And because it is healing, it will sit with you for days, weeks, months, maybe, and allow you to perhaps connect differently to situations, allow wisdoms and understandings to shift and change and alter. And it can also bring about physical symptoms. So obviously I'm trained in Reiki and Reiki master and a Seiken master, and I've been doing energy work since I was about 13 anyway. So one of the things with energy work is you might get a bit of the sniffles, you might need to wee a lot, all kinds of things. So just go with whatever comes. So just before we go into the meditation, I want to go through the 2 cards that I pulled in relation to this evening. So the first one, I lent my Yoni Oracle cards out, but I've got them back this week. So the first card is the Maiden, which I've literally just pulled that before I came onto this call, and it sits so perfectly. I mean, there's a new moon now, and I think we're about to have a new moon in the next few days. And the Maiden energy is ferocious, it's full of fire, it's bold. And at the same time, I think many of us find that we come to a place where we have to mother our own Maiden energy and heal our own Maiden energy, particularly because a lot of our Maiden energy has been put upon by a patriarchal society. So what we would have been as maidens without kind of that influence is perhaps different than what we were and what we have been. So it's revisiting a different version of the maiden within ourselves and healing those things within her that have become unhealthy and toxic. So I thought that was a beautiful card to come out, and hopefully throughout this meditation we can heal some maiden energy. The maiden, according to this book, is one of the 4 tribal leaders, and she's asking you to embody her tribe's focus, which includes being action-orientated, dynamic, and embracing new beginnings. And it advises you to take a few deep breaths, put your hand over your womb, and think about the following parts of the maiden, and to think about which parts call you. So I'll just read these parts to you. So there's new beginnings, new energy, freshness, innocence, warrior, purity, inspiration, productivity, spring, dynamic, thought, analyzing, sowing seeds, own ideas, creations, discovery, adventure, self, rebirth, and justice. And it's a time of potency and action. So it's a I guess each one of those words will mean different things to each of you. And if any of those particularly call out to you, then perhaps just bring them close and hold them throughout the meditation. And it advises you to perhaps work with some maiden energy, which I think would be lovely to do after this. So creating an altar to represent your own maiden and what you consider to be perhaps a maiden that you would aspire to. And think about whether you are in the shadow of your maiden or whether you feel balanced. So I guess that's whether there were issues within your maidenhood, within your younger years that are still affecting you, or whether you have kind of worked them out and are feeling contented. And then to explore and meditate on that over a few days. So I guess maiden energy will be coming through into this healing. And then we have this card, which I think couldn't be more perfect for a healing session. It's Weeping Wound. You are not your wounds. So always good to be reminded of that, because I think sometimes our wounds come to define us so strongly. So I'll read this. It's quite long, but beautiful. I'll show you again. Healing happens as our wounds receive sufficient attention, treatment, and expression. Wounds stop bleeding once the pain has been known and released. This needs to occur on an emotional, psychological, physical, and spiritual level. Until then, no scar tissue can begin to form, leaving our wounds exposed to infection. The maiden remains a prisoner to her pain. So again, we're back to the theme of the maiden, even though it's a different deck of cards. Her wounds bleed over her potential voice, perception, and present. She has shown up to support you through a time of safely addressing whatever wounds still bleed over your life. Perhaps you find yourself in a toxic relationship, being mistreated or taken advantage of by family, friends, or those in your workplace. Alternatively, it could be that you experience ongoing money issues, challenges with addiction, or never feeling sufficiently acknowledged, heard, or regarded. Give yourself permission to prioritize tending to whatever outstanding core wounds and false beliefs you have with love and light. Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought I'd just muted myself there. Just excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Shower your maiden self with compassion. Listen to her without judgment. Validate the tears she cries. Feel with her. Access your inherent nurturing and protective mother, guardian, and crone capacity to do this. Assure your wounded maiden self that she's no longer alone with her pain. Form a support network with a loved one, a safe friend, a cosmic sisterhood, I added that bit in, a healing professional, or a mental health expert, or perhaps all four. Allow them to bear witness to your story. Often expressing the depths of our pain to another frees us to experience life beyond the hurt and horror. To have another bear witness to the injured parts of ourselves has the power to release us from the unbearable pain and heal. Once enough scar tissue has formed, wounds can stop opening up in the present to hurt us all over again. Having drawn this card may also signify a time of being called upon to support someone by bearing witness to their core wounds. Now, the maiden's message is you are so much more than your wounds. It is never too late to grow beyond them. It is always possible to access the rest of your life without them bleeding over it. We all must feel, express, and release our way through our pain. There are no shortcuts, but once it is thoroughly done, it is done. It is hard work over an intense period that takes you as long as it takes. Once complete, the insights, peace, light, love, and liberation of being on the other side of your wounds will transform you in unimaginable ways. Your once greatest hurt has the potential to become your greatest power if and only if you show up for whatever it takes to complete the process. So, love that deck of cards. Really, both cards hugely maiden focused, which doesn't really surprise me because, as I said earlier, I think many of our wounds come from that period of time. So with that in mind, we'll think about our own maidens, and we'll hold them, and we'll go into this meditation with a willingness to kind of mother and bring in the kind of wisdom of our elder selves to, I guess, mend, heal, fix, listen to, hold, place love upon our own maidens. So I'm going to, if you want to put your screens off and go into the dark, that's fine by me. And just get yourselves as nice and relaxed as you can. I'm just going to ask you to take a few moments of deep breath, just in and of yourself, without my guidance. Just as many deep breaths as you feel is right for you. And at the same time, to take this moment to just place your arms around yourself. So the safety immediately lays not with spirit, not with the divine, not with some imagined person or fantasy, but with yourself. So let's immediately bring ourselves to ourselves and place our arms around ourselves. And just breathe. Just feeling into all of our edges, who we have been, who we started as, who we are becoming, and who we hope to be. And just allowing all of those things to sit alongside one another. It doesn't have to be linear. It's a spiral. You might find that you're rocking slightly or breathing deeper than usual. Just breathing into that, holding onto yourself, self-soothing and comforting. You may find that you quite naturally just rub yourself gently, give yourself a little squeeze, and just recognizing that in this moment you can be your own mother, you can be your own guardian, you can be your own comfort. And just breathing into that. Becoming more and more relaxed in your own company. Feeling the security of your own arms. Recognizing the security of your own mind that's brought you to this space. Your own intuition that's found you in this moment. Your own emotions, wherever you sit with them right now, whether they're on the surface, whether they're buried deep down. Just be okay with that. And recognize that whatever comes up this evening or in the following days is bearing witness to yourself. And as you bear witness to yourself, you allow yourself to heal and to grow into new beginnings, into an enlivenment of your life and an evolution. So just breathing into your body, into your bones, into the experience of being you. Being you in this perfect moment. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Just holding yourself in your own arms. Maybe just taking a moment to think about your physical self as you breathe into your body. Think about all the miles your body's done, all the places it's taken you to, and the experiences that it's allowed you to have. And bring your mind to the happier ones, the happier experiences, the powerful emotional connections with other humans, the touch of a lover or a child or a beloved pet. And as you think about these things, recognize that the one consistent thing through all of your happy moments has been you and your choice to be within that moment, to acknowledge it, to sit there, to stand there, to be there, to accept it, to allow it, to choose it. And just breathing into those happy memories as you touch yourself gently on your arms, on your stomach. Maybe run your fingers through your hair, stroke your own cheek, and just take a moment to feel the solidity of yourself and to recognize the beautiful sensation as maybe you just hold yourself and stroke yourself and revisit those happy memories. And recognize that for all else that has ever happened, those things sit in your core and that you are the factor amongst them all that ensured they happened and that was there amongst each and every happy event. Just feel a little bit of gratitude for that for a moment. Breathing it into your bones, into your cells, into your DNA. Just holding yourself and then maybe just dropping your arms down, placing them just lightly, maybe over your womb space or by your side. Or if it feels right, just over your heart. Taking another nice deep breath and allowing yourself to start to just pull in some dynamic energy. Breathing into your physical self and locating any areas of softness. So where do you feel soft and easy? Does your stomach feel soft and easy? Your cheeks, your shoulders, your hips? And wherever you are most soft and easy and relaxed, imagine that softness, that easiness spreading like a melting marshmallow all through your body, through your bones, through your breath, through your skull, through your fingers and toes. Imagine that your body is becoming liquid-like and it's flowing into itself, in and around itself, merging, moving, spiraling, all being held within the composite of your skin, but within you, just allowing this energy to start to drift and move. And as it drifts and moves, the softness expands and expands and expands, and the softness makes way for peace. So your physical body is beginning to feel peaceful, to feel complete, to feel whole. Breathing into your physical self, to the miles it's done, the adventures it's had, the places it's taken you, the lovers it's taken, the children it's born, the art it's created, the food it's cooked and eaten, the travels you've seen, the sights. Recognizing the body as a voyage, as a ship, as a container for so much more. And we get to choose what we keep within our container. We get to choose what we release and let go of. And just gently observe what arises when you think of the things you like to keep and the things you like to let go of. And where are you on that spectrum of things to keep and things to let go of? Are there things that you want to let go of? Are they present? Are they here? Are they things that you deal with every day? Or are they things from the past that haunt you, that keep coming back up on repeat, or that you keep reliving? Whether that be good or bad, it can still be toxic and difficult and dangerous to our well-being. So just recognizing whereabouts you are, how many of the things that you want to keep are with you now. Breathing into those things that you want to keep, and allowing those that you no longer wish to be a part of your present, a part of your everyday, the things that are not your wounds, to hold to, the things that you wish to heal. Imagine them starting to loosen up from within the grits and the grain of your body. And the more you breathe, and the more the liquid-like substance of your energy within yourself starts to move and magnify. It becomes magnetic only to the happier experiences, the more positive experiences. And whilst we can witness those more difficult things, we're making space for them to be released, for them to flow out of us, for they have edges, and edges don't fit within the flow. So recognize where your edges are. Just take a moment to think about those edges and how you no longer wish to hold them. And then we're going to call upon the goddess, the gods, upon Isis and Hecate, Inanna, and any other god or goddess that you wish in your mind to call forth now. Jesus and Mary, Sekhmet, your own guides, your own angels, and ask them to look to your edges, the things that feel sharp, the things that feel painful, and ask for them to be removed. Goddess, please remove my edges. Please remove those things that sit within me like knives, those things that cause me wounds over and over and over again. Help me to find ways to release them now and to release them in the future, to honor them, to make space for them so that I can observe them and learn from them and then let them go, let them go. Goddess, allow me to hold space for my wounds so that I can understand in time that I am not my wounds, so that I can observe my truth which sits beneath those wounds, and my truth is something more pure and flowing and vast and magnificent, something that's so beautiful and divine that's within me, that wishes to be expressed through me. And the wounds that sit on top of this, those wounds that betray my true divine self, allow me to bear witness to them when the time is right, when the moment is perfect, so that I can allow them to be released, so that I can learn and grow and expand and evolve and help myself and help other people and mother myself, and allow my maiden to sit peacefully within my bones. Just breathing into that, feeling the wiggle of the maiden within, feeling the freedom and the power of the maiden within, as she begins to slowly resurrect and come back with her horns and her ferociousness and her warrior-like stance on life, full of freedom and new beginnings. And perhaps all of those new beginnings that you've never quite allowed yourself, they're coming to the surface now, as they will be over the coming weeks and the coming months. Feeling the spear in your hand, feeling the passion in your spirit, feeling the steely-eyed stare that sits beneath your weeping eyes and the weeping wounds that cover the weeping eyes, not allowing you to see as far as you need to, which is really only as far as yourself. Allowing the scales to fall and calling on the goddess again to allow you to see yourself in truth, and that anything that is not of truth, to begin to feel as if it is not of truth, so that you can recognize it. So those things that feel harsh and painful and unexpected, those things that surprise us, even though they are common to us and frequent, and that we know these things, the habits that we have embodied, the things that are toxic to us, the ways we defend ourselves against our own minds and the memories. Allow all of this to fall so that we can re-embody ourselves in totality and wholeness, and allowing our maiden to grow like a seed, to grow beyond the limitations placed upon her by family, friends, culture, society, school, and grow into the woman she's becoming, so that you can inhabit your maiden within your body as it is right now, full of power, vocal, extreme rebellious, excited, ready to defend yourself, ready to mother yourself, ready to understand yourself and the reasons why you are the way you are, and to release those aspects that no longer serve. Just calling on the goddess again to just fill us with golden light, and imagine that golden light flooding down now all over your body, being breathed in through your nose, in through your mouth, making its way in through the pores of your skin, absorbing into every single part of your physical self, so that you can begin to move and flow in those areas that have become stagnant and stayed. Soften. You feel yourself softening and softening and softening, and there's no room for the edges anymore, the knives and the wounds and the pain and the edges. The things that feel like bricks in your stomach and grit in your soul, there's no space for them within the flow, and the flow will have them removed, whether they've removed themselves now or in a month or in a year when the time is right. The flow will not allow you to sit in stagnation or to hold on to stagnant energy when you allow the flow within you. So we're going to ask for the flow to resume. So we call upon our goddesses, Hecate, Isis, Inanna, Bridget, Mary, and any other goddess, any other god that you choose to call upon, guides and angels. And we're going to ask for the flow to resume within our spaces, within our legs, within our hips, within our hearts, within our wombs, within our solar plexus and our breath and our lungs and our arms, our heads and our minds and our necks and our throats. All of these spaces resuming a flow that we left off a long time ago, as we became stagnant and disempowered by a difficult culture and a difficult world. And we froze up and we turned to stone and we changed and we became something other than what we were. Allowing that flow to start to resume, even if it's just very gently in your breath, in your toes, in a new way of understanding things. Breathing that flow into your body and trusting that even if it starts as a few atoms, a few cells starting to operate differently, a few thoughts beginning to change, a few times you catch yourself thinking and change the way you think, a few times from here on in that you listen to your intuition and follow your heart. Just a few times is how the flow resumes, and as you notice the flow resuming, it becomes easier and easier to follow, like a river around the corner. You don't know what is going to come next, but you know that the flow will continue. And even if the river is somehow built upon by beavers, or a bridge falls into it and the river is bricked up, it will still find ways around that, through the earth, under the bricks, over the bricks, around the bricks, through the planet and out the other side, coming out as springs, in 100 different directions, and allowing yourself to become dynamic and to flow in a million ways you never ever expected. So breathing into that, allowing the golden light to surround you, to place you central within your own life so that you can begin to be the mother to yourself that you need and require. Breathing into that possibility, holding the inner child, holding the maiden, forming a team, an alliance, a collaboration with your own self, promising to lift yourself up higher and higher, whether it's aspects of yourself from the past that are still present, or you feel your future crone self reaching down to who you are now and reminding you that you still can be magnificent. Feeling that line of connection from your maiden to your mother to your crone, these aspects of yourself that all live within you now. Like a team, a divine three, a powerful divine three, all of which is within you, all of which hosts its own form of power, all of which will require healing at various times. And breathing into that now and requesting that the healing is always offered and always given, and always doing your darndest to try to accept whatever healing comes your way. Pulling that golden light deep, deep, deep into your body, and recognizing that this is now flowing and expanding as your body begins to resume the flow. So does your emotion and your heart space and your spirit. We hold so much within our physical selves that it can stagnate all of those things, that can cause our emotions to shut off, our spirits to feel like they've departed. Of course, they never have, but sometimes it might feel that way. Our minds become stuck on a hook of negativity and difficulty and stress and strain. But as we begin to release the edges, release the grip, release the bricks from within our bodies, so they are released from within our minds, from within our souls, from within our spirits and our emotions. Bring your mind to your heart, to the space in your body where your heart is. And just take a moment to imagine your heart beating and pumping, all of the work that it does to keep you here. Breathing the golden light into your heart and recognizing that your heart is not just a muscle, it's not just some piece of machinery that keeps you living and breathing. It's an intuitive center of emotion, and we hold so much pain here, so many wounds here. We've all experienced things that feel like our heart might just eat itself. The pain is so immense, and that does not leave, it doesn't depart, it can't always even be healed away. But we can learn to hold that pain within ourselves, to release it little bit by little bit by little bit. We can learn to live with it. We can learn to grow from it. We can learn to use that pain as a catalyst for something better for ourselves, for our communities, for our families. We can breathe deeply into that pain day after day after day and allow it to transmute us and to become whatever it was gifted to us for. And whilst that might seem at times unlikely or even absurd, we can allow that catalyst to be a potential, to be something that we have space for something that we certainly welcome. So imagine the golden light surrounding your heart, holding your heart, encasing your heart, going deep within the cells of your heart space and resuming the flow, not just the flow of the beat, beat of your heart, but the flow of the magnificence and the magic that sits within here, the magnificence and the magic that allows you to understand yourself, the emotions that tell you who you are and how you feel and what you want, and certainly what you do not want. Allow that flow to resume. And as the heart does its beat, 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 it carries that flow of honest to goodness, truth, and emotion throughout your body, removing anything that's unnecessary to your truth, so that you can start to flow into being who you were meant to be, being who the maiden knew she was deep down underneath all of that nonsense, all of those lies, all of those deceptions and masks she was forced to wear. Breathing into the pains, the traumas, the griefs that changed us, and recognizing that change and recognizing that some of it is helpful and some of it is powerful. And thanking our hearts for that, thanking our hearts for continuing to be even through the most direst of circumstances and traumas and tragedies and situations, for carrying us through and reminding us of our humanity day in, day out, through our emotional states. And welcoming our emotions, welcoming the flow of our emotions back in, and recognizing what an important tool and part of us that they are, and the role that they play in understanding who we are and becoming who we are and mastering our lives. The mastery of life comes deep from within the realms of our emotion, so that we can understand what is right and what is wrong and where we're going. And so we call upon the goddesses, Isis, Mother Isis, Hecate and Anna, Mary, Bridget, Sekhmet, Diana, any other goddesses or gods that you wish to welcome in, call them into your heart. I ask you to be in my heart. I ask you to help me resume the flow of my emotions so that I can understand my truth, so that I can heal myself day in and day out, and every time I relive an experience or experience something new that harms me, I refer straight back to my heart and to my emotion for the truth of what I must do, the truth of how I feel, and a recognition of myself as completely and utterly and only valid. I want you to imagine that you or your guide or your angel or your goddess or all of you all together, a team of you, are cradling your heart right now. Cradling your heart as if it was a newborn baby. And as you cradle your heart, I want you to project all the love in the world towards your own heart. This center, this core of your being, of your truest self. This place that knows you better than perhaps even your brain. Cradle your heart. Maybe rock it. Maybe sing it a lullaby. Speak to it. Tell it your thank yous, your gratitudes, your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions. Those things you want your heart to help you with, that perhaps your mind has not done a great job of helping you with. I just want to take a moment, each and every one of us with our hearts, to speak, to listen, to be heard, to be felt, to rock, to sing, to have a lullaby, to make a prayer. So just for a moment, I'll go quiet and allow you to commune with your heart, to ask those questions, and if it feels right, to receive some answers. allowing the love from your heart to infiltrate everything within you. As you take a deep breath, imagine yourself hugging your own heart and feeling the oxygen and the love and the spirit and the emotion being channeled throughout your physical and etheric and emotional self. Feeling the love radiating from your chest, the love that perhaps you so easily apply to others, to children, to pets, to partners, to family. Just turn it inwards, turn it to yourself. Trust that this can be enough. Trust that this healing, this deep, soul-filled healing that comes from within is perhaps the most divine thing you might ever experience. And even if you can't quite feel it, maybe just imagine the cracks of your heart opening up and rays of light and love and power and understanding and possibility starting to shine out throughout yourself, your whole self, your spiritual self, physical, emotional. Breathing, holding, recognizing that the healing comes from inside. And we can call on the goddess and the gods and the angels and the guides, and all they will do is bring out what is already within you. So with every breath, your heart beats and breaks and opens and allows the flow to resume throughout you in the areas that you have become stagnant. The areas that you have built brick walls are starting to crumble down now over the coming days, over the coming months, as we begin to return to truth, to full authenticity, to total alignment. Alignment that begins within, that starts from your heart, from its divinity, from its physicality, from its emotionality, and from its logic and its knowing and its wisdom. Allowing it to beat through your cells and outward into your energy field and into your chakras and around you and into your past and forward to your future. Aligning everything, holding itself still within you as it continues to flow. Allowing for you to conquer and overcome those things which no longer serve you. Breathing hope and power to all of your wounds, to all of your harms. And as at the same time your heart beats and flows, the flow returns throughout. And I want you to particularly bring your attention now to your womb space and to your mind. Imagine these two areas within you lighting up as they connect with your heart. So your womb is filling with heart-filled energy with the flow, so that any stagnation there that sits within your womb, within your ovaries, within your hips, is cleansed. Imagine the golden light flooding through that area within your body, your womb lighting up like a beacon of intuition and knowing and knowledge. As at the same time, ping, your mind is lighting up and your brain is golden and filled with golden light. And anything there that's dusty and grey and old or that belongs to other people is just like grit is being carried out with the flow, because the flow cannot carry other people's nonsense. It cannot carry those people's expectations, even if you have bought into and believed those expectations for your whole life. They're being removed, they're being resolved. You call upon your goddess, Isis, Hecate, Inanna, Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet, guides, angels, remove the dust, remove the grit, remove those things which are not yours now and over time. And when the time is right, allow the shift to start to shift, allow the flow to start to flow, allow the dirt and grit to be gone. Allow any pains you carry in your womb, in your sexual organs, in your hips, allow that to start to shift. Any traumas, any tragedies, any pains, any assaults, all of that beginning to shift away from you, filling you with wisdom and with flow and returning you to the truth of who you were before anything happened, before other people made their mark on you, and before life became difficult and challenging, to your divinest, most spiritual, beautiful self, to your magnificence and your potential and your possibility, allowing all of that to flow from your heart to your mind and your womb, and then onwards down your arms and into your legs and your feet and your back and your hips and your hair and your ears and your throat, particularly your throat. Just bring your attention to your throat for a moment. This space where we speak from, where we express in our creativity, where we say things that we regret, things that we wish we'd said, things that we didn't say. Bringing your energy here and allowing the flow in your throat to resume. Bringing the golden light to your throat, to your mind, to your hips, to your womb, to your heart, to all of your body and around you and out into the ether around you for meters and meters and meters, cleansing your home and your space and all of those things that you touch and your clothes and your desk and your sofa and your bed. Allowing any energetic vibrations that are not for your highest purpose to be removed, and so it is. Breathing into that and believing it and allowing it and letting that be the truth and repeating that and allowing it to be the truth as you move forward into the days and the weeks and the months that come. Allowing your truth and your heart and your soul to infiltrate everything so that the highest outcome is always to your best benefit. And even if you don't understand what that is or why it is, to allow that to be within the flow that you are deserving of, the flow that you came to this world to experience. Allow that now to bring itself to everything that you touch, to the interactions that you have, to your workplaces, your businesses, your relationships, your family, your friends, so that everything can resume flow. And if that means that toxic and no longer healthy situations no longer occur, so be it. Stepping into your truth. And I want you to, for a moment, imagine yourself surrounded by that great golden light, and anything that is no longer your truth is being burned away and whipped away and removed and taken, so that you can begin to align with this absolute infinite truth of your divinity, of your inner self, your maiden mother crone. The adventure you have within your own life, the relationship you have with yourself is placed first and foremost within your heart, within your life, within your mind and your womb, within your body, your soul and emotion, so that you can mother and grow and evolve within the relationship with yourself and benefit from relationships and connections with other people and situations and things and organizations that are to your highest benefit. And allowing anything else to drop away and to drop away in ways that are easy and that feel right and that happen and that allow you to move on in full power. And for you to begin to see the sense in all of this and to know that sometimes endings are beginnings and that often those beginnings are precisely where we need to be, even if the ending feels in some way painful. And breathing into that as we move forward into hope. Allowing the energy of hope to just infiltrate every single part of you. And what does hope feel like? What does hope feel like right now? Without having to really think about it, just how do you feel right now? Cleansed and cleared and connected and back with your heart and your mind and your womb and your body. and your soul and the flow is resuming. And so what does hope feel like? Just feel it in your bones, call it in. Call your goddess in, call your guides in, and ask them to just infiltrate your whole being with hope. Hope for the past, hope for your wounds, hope for the change and the transformation, hope for the best, hope for the happy times, hope for the holidays, hope for the happiness of others, hope for your own happiness, hope for your contentedness, hope for ease, hope for grace, hope for power, hope for adventure, hope for freedom. And as we feel hope, we start to feel each and every one of those things. So whatever it is that you are hoping for, just the very act of hope in that direction allows it to start to come to you. And as you shift and move into flow and replace those gritty, bricky edges with hope, so we call in something so much more powerful. And just breathe into that possibility without needing to know where it's going or why or how or what. Just holding yourself again, bringing yourself back to the holding, whether it's hand on heart, hand around your arms, hand over your womb or your yoni or your legs. Just take a few moments just to hold yourself again. And just breathe and rock and be. And think about what it feels like to hold yourself. Can you hold yourself in a way that nobody else has ever been able to really hold you? Can you give yourself the perfect tightness, the perfect squeeze, the perfect appreciation? Do you fit into your own spaces, your own curves? And folding in on yourself, holding yourself as a unit of wholeness, recognizing that you need nothing else to complete you, that you always were divine and perfect and complete. And even if that knowing comes and goes and comes and goes, you can always return to this place of hope and holding and wholeness. Imagine the golden light forming an orb around you and just doing its last bit of magical work, bringing forward healing, empowering presence, love, so much love, divinity, knowing, intuition, allowing those edges and grit and bricks and inner pain to start to vanish, start to go, start to leave, as they leave now, as they leave in a week, as they leave in a month, as they leave in a year. The process is beginning now. Nice deep breath. The golden light is now dissipating away. We can thank it. Thank you. Thank you, goddesses. Thank you, guides. Thank you, angels. Thank you, gods. Thank you, heart. Thank you, womb. Thank you, mind. Thank you, body. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, mother. Thank you, crone. Thank you, hips and lips and head and heart and mind and hands and feet and knees and hips and back and bum. Just thanking everything. Thanking your life, thanking your chair, thanking your bed, thanking your job, thanking partners, friends, children, pets. Thanking the present moment, because the present moment is all we have, it's all we need. Taking a beautiful deep breath, starting to re-energize yourself. So I want you to really, still with your arms around you, but just start to more actively touch yourself, bringing yourself back to your physical body and remembering that all of this magic that's occurred will continue to occur as you go about your daily business, as you sleep, as you drink, as you eat, as you rest, as you play, as you work. So just touching all over. You might want to start from the bottom and work all the way up, kind of giving yourself a little squeeze at every point. Maybe nice big firm squeezes to affirm your physical, your humanity, bringing you back and back. You can still have your eyes closed, squeezing your shoulders, starting to stretch, placing your feet on the ground and imagining roots going down from your feet into the earth, deep, deep down, pulling you back into your humanity, into Mother Earth, into this moment and all the moments to follow. And then just starting to move your body as it feels right, having a little stretch, a little sigh, a little yawn, opening your eyes, feeling those roots down into the ground, pulling yourself into the present. Taking a nice deep breath. You might need to take a few. You might need to drink a lot of water after this. You might want to imagine as well some of your energies just flowing out. Some of those edges starting to shift as you bring yourself back to the room. Some nice deep breaths, really feeling your heart beating. Grounding yourself here in the reality, hand on heart, thankful, grateful. And whenever you're ready, you can come back to the screen. Hey everyone. That felt, well, it felt quite powerful for me. I feel like I've just like seriously shifted some stuff. So I hope it was the same for you. At the end, I pulled a card like right towards the end from my Earth Magic deck, New Beginnings, which takes us full circle back to the card with the Maiden, which I think one of the key words for her was new beginnings. So it feels like a Maiden inspired journey we're going on to new adventures, new ways of being.
Alice, do you mind sharing the pictures of the cards you pulled this evening and the decks they came from?
I will put them all on the group.
Thank
so if anybody
you.
wants a copy of this as well, I will. I'll share the link to it when it downloads onto my computer in the group, because it might be a good one to download and to do. I might do it as well from your perspective. So when I put the link on there, though, you'll need to, I'll leave it up for a few days, but then my iCloud can be funny and it only keeps things on there for a certain amount of time. So if you download it, then it's yours to keep. And anybody who's obviously not in the Cosmic Mother group, if you want a copy, let me know. So Julia and Sharon, then I can send you copies too. I feel like I've done some proper work there. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed it. Does anybody want to have a chat or any quick feedback before we end?
Just wanted to say thank you. It was the most powerful one meditation like that I've ever done. So thank you.
Me too. I think I just allowed myself, I set myself up for this a few days ago, and I was like, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to let whatever comes through me just come through me, which is what I do anyway. But I think I've been more held back about it. But tonight, if I keep on going like that, before you know it, I'll be dancing around the room and singing. So watch this space. Oh, I don't know if anyone really feels it in their heart right now.
In my throat as well.
Yeah. I really feel it.
I really love that. Thank you, Alice.
Oh.
The message that came through really strong for me throughout that whole experience. There were so many things that just felt so nourishing, but the message, I wrote it down, allow the edges to shift. There's just something, so much permission in that as the mother and the maiden.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much. I'm going to take that through.
I love the fact that
week.
Michelle's camera was still on and we could see the sun rising in yours as the sun was setting here. That was really cool.
Yeah, and we could see the sky and the clouds.
You can see the sky. Can you see the clouds now? Look.
I saw a bird at one point.
Yeah,
there's kookaburras. Yeah,
there's kookaburras around, which is just. My grandmother died late last year, and she loved listening to hearing kookaburras. She was 101 when she died, and she said, you know, the kookaburras remind you just to take things lightly and laugh. So I'm kind of spoiled here where I am in the bushland at my auntie's house because there's lots of kookaburras, but yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I like that.
We just went together so beautifully with your meditation, Alice. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for being here. So the next big session like this is in 2 weeks then from now, and that is going to be about experiencing our choices, which are some words that came to me, and I'll figure out what that means closer to the time. Just like I did with this session, I kind of allow it to flow, but I'm quite excited about August. I have a lady come into one of these sessions to talk to us about her sacred travels. She's been all over the world and found loads of sacred sites and been to all the places that you'd probably expect her to have been. Although I don't know that she's been to Australia, Michelle. I'll find out. But I've just done a deck of cards with her, and she's got so much spiritual knowledge, and she's been in each of these places. She's worked spiritually with each energy, and she's brought it in through herself and through her understandings. So in August, she's going to come join us and we can ask her questions and she can tell us stuff, and she's going to lead us in a meditation as well. So just a heads up for us to get a little bit excited about that. I also thought it's quite nice, seeing as most of us are grounded and not really going many places this year, we can kind of jump on her experiences and enjoy them.
Oh,
okay.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, she's called Julie. She's lovely. All right then, have a lovely evening, go drink lots of water, or a lovely day, Michelle, and rest, stretch, and let me know how it goes. Any issues, DM me, otherwise I'll see you in the Facebook page maybe. And Sharon and Julia, I think Julia's signed up for the next one, and Sharon, thanks for joining us. So
thank you so much.
Bye everyone. Bye Michelle,
Bye.
Kelly, Annie,
Bless you all.
Julia,
Have a good evening / day.